This video will guide you through the full-time undergraduate discretionary fund application form. Before you start, there may be a few documents that you may want to look out to help you complete the form. These can include Student Support Award Letter, either from SAS, Student Finance England, Student Finance Wales, or Student Finance Northern Ireland. Recent bank statements for all of your accounts and for your partner if you're claiming as a couple or family. Recent credit or store card statements for all accounts and for your partner, again if you're claiming as a couple or family. Loan statements or agreements, lease or mortgage agreements, council tax notice, insurance agreements such as care, home or life, wage slips, tax credits awards notice, other benefit letters such as housing benefit. You may also need to supply photocopies of some of these items as evidence when handing in your application form. A checklist can be found in the form. If you're living with a partner, it may be useful to have them with you as you fill out your application form. You may require some of their details, as well as photocopies of their details for evidence. Section 1. Personal Details. In Section 1, please complete your personal details, making sure to include your name, banner ID, number, date of birth, and telephone number. When telling us how many dependent children you have, you should include only those whom receive child benefit for. If you have a child who still lives with you, but is no longer deemed financially dependent, you can include them as an adult living in the household, but should explain this in Section 4. Section 2. Childcare. Section 2 of the form applies only to those who have childcare in place. If this applies to you, then you can download the childcare form at www.uws.ac.uk/funds, or you can also pick up an application form from the student link on your campus. The childcare form must be fully completed only by your childcare provider. If you have unregistered childcare, for example you pay friends to care for your child, then they must complete the childcare form in full. In addition, you must provide a letter outlining why you have been unable to use registered childcare. If your application is successful, then childcare costs will be paid to the childcare provider directly. Section 3. Current Finances. You must include every bank account that you hold, and you should also include details of your partner's bank accounts if applicable. You must also include what your arranged overdraft limit is, even if you're not currently using the facility. In the creditor section, you should list all debts including credit cards, personal loans, car payments, rent or mortgage arrears. You should then list the individual outstanding amounts with what the minimum monthly payments are. We can only consider minimum payment levels as set by the lender, regardless of how much you would like to pay. Once you have completed these items, total the payments you make each month and input them into the expenditure section on the next page under debt payments. Income and expenditure. In this section, you will need to tell us about any income that you have and your monthly expenditure. To ensure fairness, we apply some standard rates to all applications. These are noted in the application and should be used when completing the form. Let's start by looking at the student support section. Students in years 1 to 3 should divide their annual student support by 12 to get a monthly figure. Final year students should divide by 10. Once you have a figure for student loan, independent student bursary, or young student bursary and loan parent grant if applicable, you should write these in the relevant boxes on the form. If you are applying and have a partner who is also studying full-time, you should input their figures as well. If SAS have deemed that you should receive a parental contribution, this must be included on the application form. The benefits and tax credit section is only applicable if you are in receipt of any payments of this nature. If you are, then ensure that the monthly amount entered is accurate and highlighted on a bank statement or evidenced with an awards notice. Child working tax credits. If you receive these tax credits, you should input the amount as income. This is also applicable if your partner receives them on behalf of the family. Child benefit. Please input the figure that you receive and highlight this amount on your bank statement. Ensure you have an accurate figure by multiplying your weekly child benefit by 52 and dividing it by 12. Child maintenance. If you receive child maintenance support, please include this amount as income. You should also highlight this on your bank statement. If you don't regularly receive child maintenance payments, there is no need to put down a figure. Employment and support allowance and income support. If you are in receipt of employment and support allowance or income support, you should include this as income. This will also be applicable if your partner is in receipt of either benefit. You do not need to include any information regarding disabled living allowance. Housing benefit. If you continue to receive housing benefit during the academic year, please ensure you include both the amount received and full rent cost in the expenditure section. Pension. If you or your partner in receipt of a pension, we are required to take this into account. Please highlight this on a bank statement if you're currently receiving such payments. Earnings or wages. When completing this section, you should note the information at the top of the page. We automatically assume an income of £150 for first to third year students and £50 for final year students. If you are including a partner's income, we will take their full wage or salary into account. This should be evidenced by a recent wage slip or highlighted on a bank statement. Trust funds. If you have received any additional funds from trusts or charities, please let us know by putting in a figure here. Professional and career development loan. If you or your partner receive a professional and career development loan for a second degree or postgraduate study, you must also include this as income. Although this is a loan, it is considered as current income. Other. Any other money you have coming in can be added at the bottom with an explanation of what it is. Expenditure. When completing the expenditure section, be sure to use the standard rates as listed in the application form. Rent mortgage. This figure should be what you pay monthly if you live with flatmates. If you stay with your partner, it should be a total amount you both pay. Either way, this should be evidenced either on a bank statement or by providing the relevant page of your lease or mortgage agreement which shows the monthly amount payable by you. If you pay your parents or relatives digs money, please ensure you include a signed letter from them detailing the monthly amount and what this covers. Council tax. As a full-time student, you're exempt from council tax. However, if you live with a partner, you may still have a household bill. You should include your council tax showing the relevant discount for a student and the total amount. Although this may be paid over 10 months, be sure to include a monthly figure for over 12 months. Gas, electricity. Ensure that you average your costs over the full year. For example, if you pay roughly £50 in the summer but £80 in the winter, you may wish to put a figure around £65 per month over the full year. We do not require evidence for this cost, however, excessive rates will be reduced. You should include evidence of any arrears in the debt repayment section. TV licence. This is set at a standard rate of £13 per month. Home, telephone, TV package and internet. You should include the monthly cost for these services. This should be highlighted on a bank statement or evidenced by showing a recent bill. Mobile phone. You should insert the number of mobile phones in the household. The rate for this is capped at £15 per month for each adult in the household. Debt repayments. These should be itemised in Section 3 and evidenced appropriately. Loans that have a standard payment can be highlighted on bank statements, credit cards, and informal debts must be evidenced separately. Food housekeeping. A standard rate of £120 per head in a household is used for food and housekeeping costs. This cost includes lunches and general household costs. Car insurance and road tax. You should insert the number of cars for the household. Car insurance should be evidenced by highlighting expenditure on your bank statement. Road tax should be evidenced appropriately. Petrol public transport costs. These figures should take into account full travel costs for you and your family if applicable. For for the entire month, not just while you are at university. This can include travel to work, school, and family activities. No formal evidence is required for travel costs, however, excessive figures will be amended. Course books and materials. The cost is set at £30 per month for yourself, and an additional £30 per month if your partner is also studying. Childcare. This figure should come directly from the additional childcare form, which should be completed by your provider. Tuition fees. If you are self-funding, please include your monthly contribution towards tuition fees. If you are SAS funded or receive a tuition fee loan, you should not include any figure in this section. Clothing. Clothing costs are set at £20 per head in the household. Entertainment. Entertainment costs are set at £40 per head in the household. Life insurance. This cost should be highlighted on the appropriate bank statements if applicable. Other. Any other expenditure listed here should be identified and explained if necessary in Section 4. Please remember that school lunches, travel costs and entertainment costs have already been accounted for in other items on the expenditure list. Section 4, Supporting Statement. You should use this section if you would like to further explain anything you have listed in your income and expenditure. You can also use it to provide information on any extenuating circumstances that you would like us to know about when processing your application form. Section 5, BACS Form and Declaration. Please ensure that you accurately complete your BACS form with your bank account details, and know that we can only make payment to the student applying for the discretionary fund. If you have changed your name since enrolling or since your last application, please include evidence of this. For example, a marriage certificate, degree of divorce, or deed poll. Finally, you should carefully read and sign the declaration below the BACS form. Once your form is completed, ensure you have gathered relevant evidence and submit your application to the student link on your campus. We aim to process all applications within 4 weeks of submission. You will be given a receipt when submitting your form. All correspondence will be sent to your student email account, so please check this for an update on your application. If you need any further help completing the application form, you may wish to make an appointment with the Funding and Advice team. You can do so by visiting the student link on your campus or by phoning one of the numbers on the screen.